This is everything I eat in a day to kill bloating, and by nighttime my stomach feels nice and flat and calm instead of puffy and heavy, and I'll give you the gut science behind every bite. So if you're someone who wakes up okay, but by the afternoon you're pretty bloated, puffy, and your jeans kind of feel just 2 sizes too small, this is the exact day of eating I lean on to reset that. And I'm not just going to show you what I eat, I'm also going to tell you why each thing helps your gut in plain English so you can build your own version instead of just copying mine. Quick disclaimer though, because #YouTube, this is what works for everyday kind of puffiness, not a severe and constant bloating diagnosis. So today I'll talk about the one mistake people make with a healthy breakfast that does the exact opposite of what you want. It actually causes bloating even with good for you food. I'll flag it when we get there. There's also a trick to get all the garlic flavor in your food with none of the gas if you are sensitive to garlic. And at the very end, I'll also tell you the 2 things I do after dinner that kill bloating better than pretty much any supplement I've ever tried. Let's get into the day. Before anything else, a big glass of warm lemon water and sometimes a green tea as well. The warm water rehydrates you after a whole night's of sleep and gently wakes your digestion up, and then the green tea is packed with polyphenols, which are basically food for your good gut bacteria, and they also calm inflammation on top of that. Then for breakfast, and this is my high protein acai bowl, which I absolutely love. It's so delicious. All you have to do is into the blender, you put 1 acai packet that's loaded with polyphenols, again, the antioxidants your beneficial bacteria feed on. I also use half a frozen unripe banana, and the unripe part matters because green banana is actually high in resistant starch, a prebiotic that feeds the bacteria that make butyrate, which is the stuff that actually repairs your gut lining. And then I also use a scoop of bone broth protein, which gives you glutamine, an amino acid that helps fuel and patch up that same gut lining, and is typically better tolerated than whey protein. I blend that with plain kefir, which is fermented, so it's full of live probiotics, so you're literally just adding the good bacteria to your gut as well as the fiber. And then I stir in, not blend, my fiber. So rolled oats for beta-glucan, a prebiotic fiber, soak them overnight and they're way gentler to digest. I also add a tablespoon of soaked chia, which kind of gels up, feeds your bacteria and keeps you regular. Then some freshly ground flaxseed, that's fiber plus lignans that your gut bacteria turn into compounds that help clear out excess estrogen, but ground is really important so your body can actually absorb it. And then also a tablespoon of cacao powder, which is more polyphenols that act like a prebiotic. On top, I have a handful of blueberries, some of the best polyphenols going for feeding good bacteria. Then also a teaspoon of cinnamon, which is anti-inflammatory and steadies your blood sugar, and a tablespoon of pecans for healthy fats and a bit more fiber. Now here's that mistake I promised. Do not make this bowl enormous. Look at everything we just put in. We have chia, flax, oats, banana, acai. That is a lot of fiber in one sitting. And too much fiber at once does the exact opposite of what you want and could just bloat you more if you're not used to it. So keep it a normal, reasonable size. More is not necessarily better here. And if you're only starting out with adding more fiber to your diet, then maybe even substitute some of that acai bowl for something a little bit more gentler, like have a couple of hard-boiled eggs on the side or something else. Eggs are very easy to digest. They're also a very clean and complete source of protein to keep you full. So if you are kind of sensitive to protein powder, then maybe that's also a good way to just substitute with a whole food source, and they don't add to that fiber load. So you still get a satisfying, balanced breakfast while your gut adjusts, because fiber is amazing for your gut long-term, but if you go from barely any to loads of it overnight, your bacteria haven't really caught up yet, and that transition itself is what bloats you. So you really want to ease into it. Then lunch are my mackerel summer rolls, and honestly, these are so good. I use both rice paper and nori as wrappers, and easy on your stomach. And nori, which is seaweed, has special fibers that feed specific gut bacteria you don't get from much else. Then inside, I just pack some mackerel and olive oil, which is an oily fish, so it's rich in omega-3s that calm inflammation in your gut. I also steamed some carrots, tossed in a little bit of tamari and honey, and then I steam them because cooking makes the fiber gentler than raw. Then some cucumber and lettuce, which are mostly water, so very hydrating and super easy to digest. Avocado for fiber and healthy fats that keep things moving. And I also add a little bit of fresh coriander, which is just a natural digestive that settles your stomach. Oh, and a small amount of purple cabbage, great for polyphenols and fiber, but I keep it small on purpose because cabbage will bloat you if you go overboard. You can also add some microgreens or sprouts for concentrated gut fiber nutrients, and some pickled ginger because ginger is one of the best things going for bloating, and it literally just kind of speeds up how fast your stomach empties. And in terms of the dipping sauce, I use tahini for healthy fats, some lemon juice, fresh ginger, a splash of tamari, rice vinegar, and a little bit of garlic powder. Garlic does feed you good bacteria, but it's also a really common bloat trigger, so go easy if you know that you're sensitive. And for snack, and yes, this counts, I love the Himalayan salt popcorn. And it actually fits because popcorn's a whole grain, so you're still getting fiber. And then the ingredients on this one are super clean, so just organic corn, coconut oil, and salt, I believe. So snacks are allowed, and this is a really good one. And then for dinner is marinated chicken with roasted vegetables. First, I marinate the chicken, which is a lean, easy to digest protein for repair, in some lemon, turmeric, ginger, olive oil, black pepper, and oregano. And honestly, if your gut's your focus, go for chicken thighs instead of breasts. The darker meat and the connective tissue around it are rich in collagen and glycine, which are the exact building blocks your gut lining uses to repair itself. So you're basically getting a little bit more of that bone broth benefits straight from the meat. And the marinade itself is great too because turmeric and ginger are anti-inflammatory, oregano naturally antimicrobial, the olive oil brings polyphenols, and the black pepper makes the turmeric a lot more absorbable. So always pair the two. And I serve that with roasted sweet potato, which is some gentle soluble fiber. And if you roast it and then let it cool slightly, you even get some resistant starch. Plus some carrots on the side, courgette, and roasted pumpkin, which are all soft, high water vegetables that are easy on your gut. And then also some fresh cucumber on the side to keep it hydrating. And then this is my absolutely favorite homemade hummus recipe. It's chickpeas, tahini, lemon, olive oil, garlic, salt, and a bit of ice water blended in. Chickpeas are a prebiotic powerhouse, but this is where the garlic trick comes in because chickpeas and garlic can both bloat sensitive people. So 2 recommendations. Number 1, use canned chickpeas and rinse them really thoroughly because a lot of the fermentable carbs that cause the gas are actually sitting in the liquid. And number 2, instead of raw garlic, you can actually use garlic-infused olive oil. You get all the flavor with none of the bloating because the part that bloats you doesn't dissolve into the oil. Or you can obviously just leave the hummus out too, but personally, I love it and I tolerate it totally fine, but it depends on your body. And this is the after-dinner combo that I mentioned at the very start and the one that beats most of the bloating supplements. Number 1 is a 10 to 15 minute walk right after eating. Moving after a meal physically helps the food move through you instead of just kind of sitting there and fermenting into gas. And it's simple, it works. Plus, obviously eating slowly because when you slow down and actually chew your food properly, you swallow less air and you also give your stomach a real head start on breaking everything down. So there's just less for it to struggle with later. Wolfing a meal down in 5 minutes is honestly one of the fastest ways to bloat yourself, no matter the quality and the cleanness of the food. So just slow it down nicely. And number 2 is a peppermint or ginger tea, about 30 to 60 minutes after dinner. Peppermint actually relaxes the muscles in your gut wall. It's one of the very few things with real research behind it for bloating, and ginger, again, speeds everything along. So that combo can really help to end the day feeling light instead of heavy, but I still want to wait a little after eating, so to not impact digestion by flooding my stomach with liquid right when it's trying to work. Because if you drink a big cup of tea or even water with your meal or straight after, you can actually dilute your stomach acid and your digestive juices a bit. And those are exactly what you need to break the food down properly. So I give it that 30 to 60 minute gap. The food gets a head start and then the tea comes in to soothe everything and settle any bloating. Best of both worlds. Now, everything in this video genuinely helps, but if you're someone who's tried the healthy food, the teas, the walks, and you're still bloated, still exhausted, still fighting your hormones and cravings, that's usually a sign that the food alone isn't the whole picture, and you need to actually get to the root of it. That's the work I do with women one-on-one, where we find what's actually driving it and build the fix around your body. It's by application, so if that's you, there's a link in the description to book a free clarity call to see if it's a good fit. And that's a full day. Every bite feeds your good bacteria, calms your inflammation, and keeps everything moving so you actually feel de-bloated instead of puffy and uncomfortable. And if you now want to take it even a step further and really commit, I've actually got a video with my exact 30-day gut cleanse protocol, everything to cut out, everything to add, what to eat, and how to reintroduce foods properly. It's linked right here. Or if you just want more gut-friendly recipes like these, watch my other What I Eat in a Day to heal my gut next. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you over there. Bye.